like when we talk about what's the meaning of life, what's the purpose of living, we always try to give the beautiful words. But I don't think you can actually find meaning of life or purpose of living through always looking at, oh, the beautiful ocean or the most brightest sun. You have to look at the heavy clouds and the fiercest waves.
The darkest point is the brightest light. So maybe these years of darkness are really leading us to see the light as a collective. The darkness has been hindering our possibility of finding meaning.
Let me change this a little bit.
Yeah, go.
I don't think it's the darkness hindering us or stop us to try to find meaning. It's our fear of facing darkness as something naturally existing over there. That's that attitude of us, that fear of accepting darkness as something natural.
Because it was our purpose and our meaning to overcome the limitations of survival are putting upon us. And maybe even for animals, because they're also surviving and just following instinct and desire to desire, right?
That actually could be the ultimate purpose of living.
Right? Oh my God, did we just...
Oh, I never thought about that. Have you realized, like when you look at social media or you watch some movies, for example, Hollywood movies, especially a lot of movies, they try to sell a lot of money. They try to have a good box office. They always make their endings to be beautiful, right? To be hopeful, to filled with love, to be excellent, And you look at social media, and every end of year, they're gonna post something. Oh, next year gonna be great. It'll be the best year ever. It will be better than last year. It keep going on like this. It's like human beings always wanna they find something happy, positive, lovable, a love, a hope, all of these things. They want all of that. But the reality is, at least for me, I feel the reality is, you really want to live an authentic life, you have to accept and realize that you cannot escape from all the darkness of human nature or the darkness of the world or any kind of things you treat as negative, but actually they're just part of the nature world or part of the universe. One thing I really like about Martin Heidegger is he said something about, I think it was death towards being or being towards death, I forgot. So basically his idea is you not think you're gonna die tomorrow or anything, but like but you always have to have this attitude is like you will die one day. So you're not infinite. You always have to realize you have finity. So you have to accept your mortality, or you accept yourself being as a human being to live in authentic life. And that's really I like him about. Also Nietzsche says something like, when you look towards a beast, that a beast also looking towards you. So they all really realistic.
What does that mean when a beast is also looking
dark,
towards
something
you?
Dark, right? So you look at the darkness also looking like you.
A beast is in something dark.
It's like a big hole on the ground. So you look through that big hole in the ground, and they look back to you. So, and I think that Martin Heidegger also inspired from Nietzsche that part, and that he said.
But what does it mean for darkness to look back to you?
It's like, because you look at through it, and darkness has become part of you, I think. For my opinion, I think it's become a part of you. And Martin Heidegger said death towards being, I think that's what he said. And because it's German words, it's switching. But his point was accept your mortality. And the mortality, what's the mortality of being human being? As you know, you cannot live forever. Life will never just be hope and beautiful love. It's part you lying or human desires or betraying or of fakeness, and all of this part, it is part of life. And I think that's what most of human beings live in this world, they're afraid to face to. Also, the lack of realizing that's naturally part of themselves. It's okay to accept it. It's okay to accept that mortality, like all of you being human. What is being human is you're sad, the world is not as beautiful I think it is, or you have the people who love you the most always betray you, or the society is not always about, the politicians now always think about how to make your life better, or all the beautiful ideas will polluted by human nature. That's all part of darkness that people have to accept, that that's just part of this world that we should live with and look at it and not feel sad. You can feel unhappy about it, but I think that's important. And because of that part, people unaware, or they're not willing to accept this, negativities coexisting with their positivities. So they have fear. They fear to face towards that. And when they fear to face towards that, they'll move to another direction, which is denying it. And that lead to part of something not genuinely enough and something not authentic. Like when we talk about what's the meaning of life, what's the purpose of living, we always try to give the beautiful words, the nice words. But I don't think you can actually find meaning of life or purpose of living through always looking at, the beautiful ocean or the most brightest sun, or I don't know, you have to look at the heavy clouds and the fiercest waves.
You're reminding me of a quote that is, at the darkness point, at the darkness place is the brightest light.
Oh yeah, because they do coexisting at that moment.
So I'm thinking, I like to think like in the kind of like the grand scheme of things. I wonder if the darkness that we're going through as a collective and as a world, as the world currently is in 2025, or it has been for the past, I don't know, maybe let's just put like 9/11 as the beginning of deep dark moments of, I mean,
for
probably
contemporary
not,
world, yes.
a little bit, right? So about 20 years, I would say, or a little bit more.
I actually think that started from hippie movement.
You think it started with the hippie movement in the 80s?
60s.
60s?
Yeah.
Wow. So we've been going through like dark times since the 60s, more or less? Collective darkness?
All the problem of today, I think, especially the Western world, I'm not talking about, my country or Eastern world. In my opinion, I think the problem of today's Western world, all these problems, I think it actually already started from hippie movement of Beat Generation.
In the 60s?
Yeah, in the 60s. If we
I don't
want
know
to
why I
even
said
go a
the
little
80s.
bit...
But wait, but why?
So here's the thing.
So what started that darkness?
So let's talk about American family back in the 40s and before 50s. They're more religious, right?
Yeah.
They're more, I don't know, there's a lot of rules about how man's supposed to be, or what a woman's supposed to be, or what kids are supposed to be. Their education system is pretty strict about what is what and what is what. And there's a group of people that, I'll say from late 50s, they start to challenge all of this authoritative ideas. And I admire their, courage and all the effort they did to challenge all of this. That's the beginning of hippie movement. They try to embrace freedom.
The rebels.
Yeah, they're the rebels, and they try to challenge the old thinking system.
And the status quo.
Yeah. I was a hippie when I.
Really?
Yeah, when I was undergrad, I joined hippie camps.
Wow.
Kind of did a little bit like my family is kind of open-minded for a lot of Chinese families, but there's still a conservative part of them, and the whole society kind of conservative in a way. I'm always trying to challenge it. I think the reason I'm trying to challenge it is because I'm always looking for truth, not just truth about the world is also the truth about myself.
The darkest point is the brightest light. So maybe these years of darkness are really leading us to see the light as a collective. I really like to think that way. But wait, let's go back. Why do you think the hippies were the ones that
I haven't finished that
brought
part,
the darkness to kind of the collective?
Yeah, so what hippie they did? They not just challenge, the old systems. They also try to build new things forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one difference between those hippie revolutionists and the generation after them is they grew up from a society has serious education. You look at those like hippie leaders, like Beat Generation leaders, for example, like Jack Kerouac. I think he dropped off from Columbia, but he seriously studied Ernest Hemingway, Whitman, I forgot how to pronounce it, Longfellow, yeah, all those classical writers. So even though his writing style is kind of crazy, as like a drunky, like writing all the things crazy, and there's some spell mystics, he was educated through a serious and academic system. It's the same with Bob Dylan. It's the same with people like John Baez. They have this classical elements inside of them. So they have a rebel spirit coexisting with all those classical elements inside of them. What I say is classical elements will be classical music, classical literature, or religious education. So I'm not saying religion is telling the truth. There's something to control you. So when you try to break through that control, but also have that elements of control and seriousness and the rational thinking, or this whole system inside of you, the classical, system inside of you. Those people, they have a balance between the old and the new. But after they break through all of this, the old system, they didn't bring those classical elements like classical literature to the new generation. What new generation only get through from them will be free sex, drugs, a totally mad moments without any restrictions or anything. If you don't have, the problem with human being is why we need religion, because we would have an easier access to meaning of life, or what's the purpose of surviving or anything, purpose of living. But then you break through all of that, you destroy all of those things. We are not good at building the meaning of life. Human beings are so bad at that.
Why do you think that?
This is the world today. It's a perfect example of why human beings are so bad at finding meaning of life. A man at the age of 25 is already afraid of aging. You're worried, oh my God, my skin, my wrinkles, my body types. Yeah. And then, as a man, I'm not going to talk about women, so I'm only going to focus on men here. The problem of us. We worry so many things, so physical. The arm muscle, the chest muscle. Hey, I worry about that too. I go to gym, bench press all the fucking time. So I worry about that too. But in the old time, people, they probably live for the purpose of God. They have other purpose, like they have offspring to take care of the kid. I'm not saying that's good or what. They have a different purpose of life. And today, it's so hard for us to find the purpose of living and meaning of life. We are so constantly frustrated by everything around us. And I think it started that moment when the old system was breaking down, or break into pieces by hippie movement or Beat Generation first, and hippie movement.
So what do you think really startled that movement of the hippie? Was people who were tired of being told what to do, tired of the control, or were there more reasons for that?
Yeah, that's not the only time happened in the history of humankind.
It happened before?
Something similar happened so many times in the history.
I think maybe even going back even more back, just us as a conscious being drifting from an animal and actually developing the consciousness, the brain from Homo sapiens, to a human, and the biology, the evolution of a human body becoming human is a form of being a rebel, is a rebellion against
our nature.
Against our nature, as a chimpanzee or whatever, as a monkey.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are actually what we're saying is that in our essence we're fundamentally rebels.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus was a rebel.
Yeah, the funny thing. the first group of believers in Jesus, they call them the followers of madness.
The full of what?
The followers of
The
madness.
followers of madness.
Yeah.
Boy, go away. Sorry, this is ruining my sound. Okay. The followers of madness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every several hundred years of human history, we're going through a process of the process of madness, a process of rebellious moments to against some old system. And then this whole movement of rebellious movements or this rebel spirit start being tamed by the new rules. And after this new rules rule for several hundred years, there will be new things too. It's constantly happened because Foucault, he has the book called Madness and Civilization. I think that was the name. I just read that book fucking like 2 or 3 months ago. See, I'm getting older and my memory is getting worse. I think it was called Madness and Civilization. And it was talking about how in the end of the dark time of the Europe, like those.
What was the dark time of Europe? There were plenty, I would say.
Yeah. He was specific on the medieval time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like late 1800s.
No. Medieval time would be late 1600. 16th century to 17th century, 15th century to 17th century.
Okay.
That time. You know how you have Renaissance movements. You have all the madmen came out saying the earth is moving around the sun. And those people are called people mad people. They're mad, but they try to show people the truth. And then after 100 years, all of this madness be tamed down. They locked into this confinement places. They locked down into asylum. They locked down into jails. Yeah, but they were the early revolutionists, trying to show people the problem of Catholic Church and why. Yeah, that's happened that time. And then we have the hippie movement of 60s.
So every almost like we're
Several
talking about
hundred-
very different moments in history where
Yeah, it's all
the
similar.
rebel spirit came alive and something happened.
Yeah,
And you think the last one that we've had was in the 60s with
yeah,
the
the
hippie
60s.
movement.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think there's a new one coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
And it's about to emerge.
Uh-huh.
But how is that related to what we were talking about in the very beginning, to the Confucianism and to your experience as a someone that has experienced both the Eastern world,
Mhm.
your upbringing is in like a totally different set of rules, and yet it seems like both Eastern and Western world are kind of playing the rules of the same game
Okay.
to a certain extent.
Here's the thing: people always think how Eastern and Western are so different, right? But you look like Catholic Church in the medieval time,
Mm-hmm.
and Confucianism of ancient China. Not even ancient China. Ancient China, Confucianism was not even that crazy. I would say the Confucianism in the last 1,000 years.
Mm.
You look at them; they believe in different things. Of course, I mean a lot of things are different, but they all both have a lot of fucking rules. They try to tame human beings' animalistic nature. They try to tame, and both use strict rules. Can orthodox or like fundamentalistic. The only difference would be, I will explain later about the difference between Eastern culture and Western culture, but here I want to talk about similarities. How both Catholic Church from the medieval time and the Confucianism from China, they both are used as a tool to control people. So the rebellious experience against the religious thinking from old time is not that much different from when I try to against my experience growing up from a Confucianism society. That's also one of the reasons I moved from Confucianism to Christianity when I was a teenager, because I hate all teachings I learned from Confucianism. I feel it's all just rules.
And what did you find in Christianity that was more
fucking
liberating?
The same.
Oh,
it's not that much
okay.
different.
Now you can see that, but the way in like when you were 17.
When I was 17.
What was it about
in the
Christianity?
beginning, I would think, if Eastern part doesn't work out for me, I was trying to look from, also my
The
piano
Western.
teacher was also a Christian.
Oh,
So after under his influence, I was like, oh, maybe I could find something from the Western world. And I went to church, I joined, the ceremonies, all of that. And I was like, God, this is all about how to act in a ceremony. You gotta sing, you gotta pray in a certain way, and what part is sinful, and what is not. It's all just write down in the fucking book and tell you what is this and what is that. I was like, there's no. Okay, there might be a little bit space for interpretation, but I was not thinking like there's enough space for me to actually sing. And also, I have a lot of questions, and I start reading the history of Christianity. I was like, oh, they decided Jesus was actually a god through a conference. All of this, and when I was reading Cain, what happened?
I don't know.
I was reading probably about Cain and Abel, the story of Abel. I forgot which one was punished. And I was thinking, oh, how the fucking God know who is not the, loyal or, who is the nice one, who is the bad one. They both trying to do their best to serve God. Yeah, how the God know the other one, the purpose of serving God was for their own selfish reasons. This is just not convincing for me. There's a lot of stories in the Bible didn't convince me that much.
Okay.
So I started to move from other directions trying to.
So was it your own inner self-critical thinking that got there, or what do you think? Because you came to the US at 19, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I came here at 17, and as you're here, that happened to me. But that was within the first year. Like, you start to realize that actually it happened to me even before I came here. That it just makes no sense. But I think only through critical thinking, and this is something I like to do on my show, is like maybe give tools for those who really do maybe want to question it a little bit, or maybe break through a little bit. Mm-hmm. What is it something that is fundamental for one that one must actually tap into in order to be able to critically think about these things, or to critically understand that maybe
they are not real, or they're
yes,
false. They're false,
or that they may not be rules that are truly based in the world of experience or the actual experiences of life.
I don't think rational thinking or reason. Or
what is reason? Something that were you there when we did reason?
Yeah, this is lead to a super divided views on which comes first and which comes second
reason
in the
or
history.
Experience?
Yeah, in the history of
actually,
Western philosophy.
We talked about this in the last event about play. So which one comes first, reason or play? And then I put on ChatGPT. Do they come hand in hand? And it laid out that it actually does. One learns reason by playing. When you're playing, you're starting to learn reason as you go about, and then when you reach adulthood, you're told that they actually need to be separate, and that play is only something that you do if you're lucky or free time, and that reason is the one that you should be working on. But actually what it's teaching us is that you only develop reason by playing. So the problem
that's also,
is that we stop playing, and we should never ever stop playing. That's why we actually become
actually, I think that's right. In order to make that play evolve into a higher level of play, or more productive for our, society development or anything, it has to be keep playing and evolve with keep thinking irrationally or keep thinking through reason. So it's intertwined. So maybe play first, that reason to go through it and come back. But yeah, which one came first? That's also really, really tricky question.
Are you talking about now play reason or experience and reason?
Yeah, experience and reason. Because play is experience too.
Then this goes into a philosophical question, or I think it's Jean-Paul Sartre. Does essence precede existence, or existence precedes essence?
I can explain several philosophers what they think.
No, but what do you think? Existence precedes essence, or essence precedes existence? I think essence precedes existence.
Okay, this is such a metaphysical. I don't know.
Too much?
No, it's not too much. I actually need to.
Yeah, let's go deep into it. Let's not be afraid. The more metaphysical I think, the better.
I think there's a part of the world they exist without us to experiencing it. They do fundamentally, or the essence exists over there. But the thing is, they are not approachable for us. They're not. They can't be absolute approached by us. What it means is we cannot understand that essence of the, how to say that, the formation of the universe or the formation of space or time 100%. That is there, but it's impossible for human being to fully understand it, to fully approach it. If you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if I agree.
Yeah, you can. Well, I think people disagree. There's a bunch of people, not just you. In history, there are people disagree with that opinion. Yeah.
So you're saying that the formation of the universe, the foundations of the universe, the concepts of time
I think
and
there's
space,
some part of
they exist independently of the self, of us.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay. So.
But us, our human beings,
Wow.
we cannot fully understand it, or.
Oh, so we keep looking for reasons to how they relate to us and how they exist
But
because
we'll
of
never
us.
fully understand it.
Because
the reason
they're
why,
independent of us.
because when we look at through it, when we get into our mind, when that kind of thing, that whatever objectively existing over there, when it going through our mind, when we start talking, whatever we do, we look at it, we think about it, we talk about it, the moment of subjectivity is getting involved into that objectivity. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You're always personalizing.
You always personalizing, and you cannot stop personalizing it. That's the reason there's one meeting in the philosophy club. I think it was an event.
Yeah.
I gave it's also inspired by some members from the meeting. I name it, and they helped me to talk through it. But I kind of like give a theory about that thing. It's called the hierarchy of subjectivity. It's to depends on the level of subjectivity and how close it to objectivity, because we could never reach to objectivity, so we should never but we should never aim to find the absolute objectivity. Our purpose is to try to keep getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the objectivity. If you catch up with what I'm saying.
Yeah. But we never get there.
We'll never get. There's a math.
What is objectivity?
One, the essential moment. Yeah, there. There's a funny, interesting equation in math. 0.99999 actually equal to 1. I'm not going to tell any video here how to solve that problem. You can Google it. How 0.99999 actually equal to 1. And through a really simple math.
Infinite numbers of 9 equals
to
1?
Yeah. You can find that proof.
What does that mean?
It means we don't have to find 1. We just need to go with 0.99999. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's also solve the problem that how human beings try to keep finding the meaning of life, or the purpose of living, or the destination of where we were going to be, or where we will be. We don't have to. We just try to keep getting closer through our experience and thinking through our mind, because we cannot attack or accept the absolute objectivity. We can only make our subjectivity understanding or interpretations getting closer and closer towards that point. That's my theory. That's what I think. Because I'm trying to find a way to solve the problem of today that people feel life is meaningless. I have that moment a lot, that why the fuck, how to live? I want to fucking kill myself. That kind of moment. And why the world act like this way? Why human beings keep hurting each other? Why, we have less, we have less famine today than a lot of moments in history, but we still have moments of war that people killing each other. It seems there's endless circles going on.
There's two things there.
Yeah.
I think just maybe answering a little bit, because I've done this for a while, and I really do search for meaning, like I told you here. And one of the things that a Buddhist monk I interviewed for my docuseries, and she said that the suffering is because we don't know each other. We don't know ourselves. We only suffer because we don't know ourselves enough. When you devote yourself to the practice of getting to know thyself or yourself, that equals to less suffering and less amount of suffering. So, and that hit me so deep because we're talking about forgiveness, and one will forgive once you get to know yourself deeper. But I think the play that I was telling you about that I just did, that was deeply philosophical. There's a line there that the last time I was on stage, I was saying, my character, I fight because I desire connection. And that moment on stage, it hit me so deep that this is
I would
not
love
only.
to see you at that moment on stage.
Well, I'll do it again. Cool. I'll do it again one time. And it was just like, oh my God, like this is, could this be why people fight? Could this be why there's war going on? Because there's lack of connection. People don't have meaningful connections in their life, and therefore fighting, and therefore a lack of meaning in their life. And I think, because of this control that we're talking about, and that this sort of like the world is sort of dangerous, or like you have to be wary of these and these sorts of people. So you are like almost like limited to a certain amount of people, but they don't possess the deep connections that you really should be having in your life, that your soul is really seeking, like your soul tribe. For me, this is absolutely true in terms of personal experience, but let me ask you, did you find the deepest connections of your life outside of where you came from in China, or mostly in other places around the world?
Being honestly, the deepest connection I feel to whatever the people, it's really intuitive. I'm not even thinking about it. It's China or America. It's just there. If I feel connected, I feel it's connected.
So it's not necessarily associated with a country.
But when you see that, have you realized you already had a connection? Priori, you thinking or whatever. Okay, it's kind
of. So you're saying connection is just something that you arrive at?
You arrive at. We keep trying experience until arrive it. That's what I think. Because when I join meetings with people I don't know from the club, like I immediately can feel, oh, wow, I so enjoy talking to this person. Not even try to seriously analyze. We have a short time to actually think really deeply about that person. But there's some way they talk about it, some way they think about it. We just say it. Oh, there's something there. Or you go to a music concert. Some music hit you so instantly. I'll give you an example.
So you're saying connection is not just to people, it's to the things that you like and to the things that you want to do.
It's something so natural, I don't think it can explain through reason. In the moment of happening, it cannot be explained through reason. It only can explain by reason afterwards, because you try to analyze it. One example would be, I go to a coffee house. I don't drink coffee. I go there to eat cake. But but I go to a place like a store or anywhere, a bar. They always play music. And I'm just listening. I don't even know what music play. But until some melodies came out of that, like, oh my God, I all gonna take off my phone. What's the name of the song? I don't think I was paying attention to the music, because of course I was not. There was so many songs played during the time I was in a bar or anywhere. But that phone fucking hit me. I was like, oh my God, there's a connection there. I think that, at least that's for me. And I don't know how to explain that.
Human spirit being naturally a rebel.
Yeah.
With some examples. And now we're at a point of talking about connection. But
I can give a kind of summary here, like what's going on.
Yeah, if you can.
So in the beginning, we started about, how I grew up from Eastern country and how that related to I have a rebellious, experience or rebellious idea through the whole, constructed or restricted rules, and then that moved to like how I use human nature, that we try to avoid darkness and fear, but I also trying to say that that's a part of our human nature, but we try to avoid that, to leading to explain why a lot of those, conservative, now I don't want to use the word conservative, a religion or Confucianism, they not just about genuine acting, but they more became a performance. Try to explain that part. So and after that, because I became a rebellious soul, so we use that to explain, you think it's 911, then 9/11, how the world became like this corrupting, and then I think it's actually started from moment of the hippie movement or Beat Generation, even a little bit earlier. So how that lead to this today's world that people have a hard time to find meaning of living or purpose of living, right? And then how that related to what's keep going in history, that people keep having the moments of madness, try to against, set of rules or orthodox rules. Yeah, also that. And then, from that, because we already touched about human nature in that moment, so we move from that, okay, is there's like some part of us that, because, I think how to, be a rebellious against all rules, I have to go all the way through rational thinking, basically reason. So we mentioned about reason. Then you're questioning what's the reason. Now we start to move from that to the question, a really, really metaphysical, deep down there would be experiencers first, or reason first. Then that related to the objectivity versus the subjectivity. Then how we using that move all the way to explain, different philosophical approaches and how our own experience going through that. I think that now we're here. You got it?
In the beginning, I usually do like a little bit of a teaser.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to have this moment and you're just going to explain it. And that's the beginning of wow, that was beautiful.
For my application, I got off writing a fucking 20 pages paper. So I got to lay out everything I want to talk about,
Wow, that was good memory. That was pretty good memory.
Okay. I'm not too old. I'm happy.
Wait, so I think the two that I want to finish and I want to wrap up is, so the darkness has been hindering our possibility of finding meaning.
Let me change this a little bit.
Yeah, go.
I don't think it's the darkness hindering us or stop us to try to find meaning. It's our fear of facing darkness as something naturally existing over there. That's that attitude of us, that fear of facing or accepting darkness as something natural, but just be there. That stops us to find the meaning of life.
Okay, let's go even deeper than that. What is darkness, and what is this darkness that we're talking about? Is it the negative side of us? Is it the not the evil side?
I don't think they are actually. Some people could say it's more the animalistic side, or something more natural, like the body desires or that kind of thing. But I don't think they are. I don't want to use the word negative. The reason I use the word negative is because the society views them as negative. And this is negative or not negative could never be absolute, because you based on Asian ethics system, something really negative there is not negative here. I fucking can smoke weed as much as one. It's not illegal here. Right? You can't do that shit in China. So that whole, okay, that's also related to the topic we had before in Philosophy Club, was insanity versus sane versus insanity. Sanity versus insanity. I actually helped to set up that format.
Wow, the question sheet?
Yeah, the question sheet. So I don't want to call it negative. I don't want to call it dark. I just want to call it as something exists in ourselves. I don't know, it's mind or body or whatever it is, and something exists in nature that is hard for human being to accept they exist there. I need to find a word.
No, but I'm going to back up what you're saying,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to ask you something else. But it is true that we've found ways to avoid darkness just as a natural part of the day. So there's light, especially here that we're here in New York. There's light all the time.
Yeah.
There's never not a moment where you can actually find darkness. Maybe a few parts of Central Park, but even then, like,
it's
there's
beautiful.
always light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we leave lights on all night long. The cities, like, even the Earth seen from satellite, we're never really truly dark. And so I wonder, what is that reflecting, and what is that doing to us, and what is that? Because there's also this thing, like horror movies being one of the reasons why maybe we avoid darkness so much. I'm not blaming everything on horror movies, but I do think they make people be afraid of darkness because they think something is going to attack them, or something's going to happen to them when it's dark and you don't have any light. Or, you know what I mean? Like when they do that in the horror movies. And
I think it's because we're afraid of unknown.
Oh, so it's the unknown. So the darkness is the unknown.
Okay, there's a two part of darkness. Some part of darkness is something unknown that we're afraid of.
Okay.
But another part of darkness we think, or negativity, is set up by culture, by history, or by our.
So you're saying darkness, the composition of darkness is
There's a
known
multi-different.
and negativity.
Yeah, there's a known activity, and unknown activity. Yeah.
So darkness would be the unknown plus negativity.
Plus a lot, yeah.
Almost like a formula. We just did darkness equals unknown plus negativity.
Yeah, maybe I'll add something more if I think through it. But,
But right now it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but that's really cool.
What do you think?
It's making a lot of sense, and I think
Thank you.
no, it's making a lot of sense because negativity and the unknown alone are not necessarily bad things, or are not necessarily components of negativity or malicious consequences in itself for the self.
Yeah.
However, put together, they are pretty damn scary for most people, and so
Yeah,
I
I'll
guess
say so.
I guess that's a good definition of darkness.
I think that's it's flowing in our blood.
But you just touched upon something I think fundamental and crucial about the human evolution, which is the survival aspect of food and shelter.
Yeah.
So were rules created not only because of what I just said about the lack of attention, which might be wrong, obviously, but also because of this need, the survival need of someone needing to take care of our food and our... So everything that we see here is just an agreement of food and shelter.
Pretty much survive.
Ultimately. Everything we haven't really evolved. We've only just been surviving in a way.
Okay, this conclusion may be a little bit dark.
No, but go for it.
Thousands of years, our ethical systems have been constantly dealing with food, shelter, basically how to survive. So yeah, it haven't improved that much. Yeah.
Our progress has been
It's
in
not
the foundations of seeking food and shelter.
Yeah, survive. Basically, let's just use one word: survive.
Survival.
Yeah. Survive.
Wow.
I don't think.
So how do you think for us who are anarchists, like, do you think once we cross that survival thread, anarchism is imminent?
It will be inevitable. It will be inevitable.
Inevitable, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's really inevitable. But the problem is how to step over that
hurdle of survival.
It's been stuck us for thousands of years. It's been,
There's something I talked in one of the first really deep and meaningful philosophy club discussions, is that there might be, oh my God, we just got to the beginning, there might be the rebel part of us, that we rebelled against our biology as an animal, as a species, as a chimpanzee, as a monkey, because it was our purpose and our meaning to overcome the survival, the need for survival, or the survival, I guess the limitations of survival are putting upon us, and maybe even for animals, because they're also surviving and just following instinct and desire to desire and desire to, right? And-
That actually could be the ultimate purpose of living.
right?
overcome.
Oh my God! Did we just?
Oh, I never thought about that.
It could be, right?
Yeah, it could be. It could be the ultimate solution for
Us humans is
what we're looking for as a meaning of life or the purpose of living. Yeah, to overcome the desire of survive. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Yeah,
that's pretty deep.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. It could be, right?
Yeah, it could be. I think that might be the thing. Wow.
And I wonder if that is also true for animals.
God, that's gonna be different. We're gonna save that for next time. I don't want to. Yeah, that could be a long
but you know
time.
what's gonna happen to animals and stuff like that. But anyway, so we might be in a way the saviors of the endless desire because of that, or the.
I think that there's a possibility for us to do that.
Oh yeah, and with technology, I mean, we definitely have the resources. We just have to organize it.
I'm also a transhumanist.
You are?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means to make human no longer human, basically just overcome all desires of humanly desires.
Wow, I had that conversation in the desire group. So you think, well, once we overcome our desires, what's gonna happen?
Social anarchism will be inevitable. We can move out to this galaxy. You know, that's really
Yeah.
beyond my imagination in some part.
We can like travel through galaxies?
I think we can travel
As
through a lot of
Earth?
things. We maybe even to consciously communicate each other.
Yeah, we don't even need a phone. We just
We just look at each other.
telepathically. Wow, that's
I don't know.
amazing.
One thing I really want to happen would be the harmony between relativity and quantum mechanics.
And do you think that's gonna happen?
I think when the time we find the harmony between those two, it will be the moment we transcend ourselves to overcome the physical desires. It means the.
You know, I had that conversation and did you go to the desire one? No.
No, I didn't. There's a lot of things I should go.
Yeah, you should go. But the philosophy club and what I said, which is I make sure it's the same what you're saying might not be that once we overcome that desire, we actually will go back to our very first species, which is unicellular species, because they were able to reproduce by themselves. They did not need sexual intercourse or the female and male aspects, because we're going to be so balanced of both masculine and feminine energies that we'll be able to reproduce just by ourselves without the need of
We are so ready to accept who we really are that gender, sex, I think gender, sex is different in a way.
yeah.
They no longer matters. They're just whatever word doesn't even have a real meaning to who we really are at that stage. Man, Chinese, Asian, American, African, Black America, Latin people, brown, Malay, none of this word matters at that moment.
So that's what you meant when you said transhuman?
Transhumanism.
Transhumanism? Yeah. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. There are more than that.
Okay.
It works for a long time.
Almost like the evolution of a body as well.
It's a whole theory about a lot of things, I call it. Yeah.
Okay, but can you, in a few words, no, it's hard to explain? Or?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard, but the easy part would be we're no longer human beings.
And what are we?
Beyond.
Aliens? Or?
We have never seen aliens. I haven't seen aliens.
You have?
I've seen UFO, but not alien. Yeah.
Where?
When I was a kid. Not just me, my parents both saw it.
In China?
Yeah, in China.
Cool.
When we were skiing on the frozen lake in the winter.
Wow.
Yeah, there's something above. I don't remember it was grandma or my dad first saw it. And I was like, oh my God, what the heck is that?
And it was.
I was like, oh my God, it's like so bright. It's like a plate shape. The sun is over there. So it's definitely not sun. It's like a wrong thing above us. We all saw that.
So a transhuman, we will be something similar to.
Yeah, it's hard to give
species.
a species definition because there's AI, there's now new technologies getting involved, even robots, like it might be going to be a part of us. So there's a lot of possible way to, be a transhuman. Yeah, in that way. So we can talk about that later. Yeah, I also need to do more research for that part too. Yeah, because I don't want to give blindly information, to people who doesn't know that much about it. Yeah, I want to be responsible for that part because it's a whole theory on that. Yeah.
Do you want to do the final part in Chinese?
Which part?
Yeah, just as a conclusion. Like maybe I'm gonna ask you in English, and obviously you can say whatever you want. You can even, because I'm never gonna understand. But maybe just something that maybe that this conversation meant to you, or what your life journey has taught you, and from seeing both worlds, that there's just this huge misconception that Eastern and Western are two different completely things, and they actually might be all part of the same thing. And
You want me to answer that in Chinese?
yeah.
You know, actually, some of my students, they want to watch the video after you upload it.
And
So,
is that a bad thing?
No, they're not bad thing. They're Chinese, so I'm not gonna say this to them.
You're not?
Huh?
You're not gonna say this to them, or you
No,
are?
no,
gonna
I want to say this to
okay,
them. So they're all Chinese.
Ways students, listen, pay attention.
I really wish they could be better in English, but you know.
Let's do it in Chinese. This is also as a way to like honor your culture and your language.
I just 就是不要感觉到太过于恐惧，对你没有不要太过早的下结论，对你没有见过的东西，或者第一次碰到的事情，不要过早的下结论，然后碰到自己认为不好的东西，也不要立马认为它是不好的，仔细去考虑一下自己，仔细去考虑一下周围的世界，然后用理智的分析，或者尝试能得到更多信息的方法，去真正去判断这到底是一种什么样的情况，或者是什么样的方式。I think that's it. I was trying to tell them don't give judgment or conclusion too early, too quick. Just think through. Or even face the darkness or negativities. Don't think it's negative or darkness at the first place. Try to analyze it through.
Beautiful. I'm kind of emotional a little bit. I don't. Obviously, I didn't understand, but just the way you said it and the resonance of your words, that was really beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How old are your students?
They're like different ages. Youngest one will be 10. Some of them 17. Some are 16. So they're all in the early age how to start how to build a world.
What do you teach?
I'm teaching them English.
Oh.
I also teach piano and painting and drawing.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
You do a lot of stuff. We got it right. As artists, we gotta do.
We got survive, right?